The Creality SPARKX i7 was designed to be a compact, affordable, multicolour printer, but there was one fairly obvious problem if you actually wanted to print in multiple colours with it. That meant using Creality's enormous CFS Lite, and suddenly this compact printer took up considerably more room on your desk with a massive box sitting alongside it. But now Creality has released a brand new version. This is the CFS Nano combo, featuring a tiny 4-colour feeding system that mounts directly onto the printer itself. Creality is selling the complete package for just $299, and at the moment of filming that includes 4 free rolls of filament as well. Creality did not sponsor this video or supply the machine. I bought the machine myself and all comments and experiences are my own. And rather than judge it after a couple of tiny test prints, I've printed both a 4-colour articulated model followed by a 300 scale multi-day print to find out whether this tiny feeder is generally up to the task or just a problem waiting to happen. Creality's SPARKX i7 range may look initially a little bit confusing because the website now lists 4 different versions, but the printer itself is identical in every case, only the filament handling system changes. The standard i7 is a standard spool machine. The auto refill version adds a 2 spool system that automatically switches when one roll runs out, but it still prints in a single colour at a time. The existing colour combo adds the larger 4-colour CFS Light box, while the new Nano combo offers the same 4-colour capability using the much smaller CFS Nano. Whichever version you choose, the printer's speed, features and potential print quality remain exactly the same. The only difference is filament handling and colour. So why the new model? The older i7 colour combo uses the large CFS box, which can store up to 4 rolls, automatically feed and retract filament and protect it from moisture, but the downside is that it's a massive box that you need to find desk space for alongside the printer, or with some additional printed brackets fit it on top. Either way, it makes the small i7 no longer small. The new CFS Nano takes a completely different approach. This is an ultra-compact 4-colour filament system which mounts directly onto the upper gantry of the SPARKX i7, so there's no longer a separate filament enclosure taking up space alongside the printer. It still supports automatic filament preloading, loading and retracting, as well as automatic filament refill across its 4 inputs. You'll still need to unload the filament manually when changing rolls. Basically, it offers the same features you find on something like a Snapmaker U1 for filament handling. Apart from the different CFS system, the SPARKX i7 remains the same as the other versions. So you still get a 260x260x255mm build volume with a claimed print speed of up to 500mm per second and acceleration of up to 10,000mm per second squared. It uses a direct drive extruder with a maximum nozzle temperature of 300 degrees and a heating bed capable of reaching 100 degrees. A 0.4mm nozzle is fitted as standard, although 0.2, 0.6 and 0.8mm nozzles are also supported. And on the front of the machine, there's a 2.85-inch colour touchscreen. For connectivity, you've got USB and 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi, along with 8 GB of internal eMMC storage. G-code and TMF files are supported, with Creality Print 6.3 or newer being used for the slicing. You also get a 720p AI camera with built-in lighting and spaghetti detection, along with fully automatic bed leveling, automatic input shaping and automatic pressure advance. But obviously the interesting part of this particular version of the SPARKX isn't really the printer itself, it's the CFS Nano. The biggest advantage here is simply how little space the whole system takes up. Instead of having another large box sitting alongside the printer, the Nano simply clips directly on the top. It's easily accessible for maintenance as well. The open spool arrangement is similar to what you see on other machines, such as the Elegoo Century Carbon 2 with canvas. Though there is one fairly significant difference here. The i7 is still a bed slinger, which means the bed itself moves forwards and backwards, so you'll need to leave a little bit of room behind the printer for this. The open spool design also gives the Nano another potentially useful advantage. You can use an external filament dryer as its source for filament storage. For anyone regular printing PTFE or other moisture sensitive materials, that could actually make the Nano considerably more useful than the CFS Lite. There is, however, an obvious downside, because the Nano itself doesn't enclose the filament. If you simply use an exposed spools, they're completely open to ambient humidity. Depending on where you live and the materials you're using, that could mean investing in airtight spool boxes or a filament dryer anyway. They are mounted behind the vertical frame of the printer, and to be honest, they do feel like a last minute addition. They're very basic, certainly don't look as well built as the rest of the machine and feel a bit flimsy, although in use they seem perfectly fine. Out of the box there is some assembly required. Creality supplies full instructions for this, everything is nicely labelled and the whole process doesn't take too long. The only part that had me stopping and scratching my head was the PTFE tubing at the back of the CFS Nano. There are small pieces of PTFE tube already attached, followed by longer tubes running from the spool holders, but the two sections don't actually connect together. You simply run the exposed filament across the gap between them. At first I thought I was missing something in the instructions, but this is intentional. It's the PTFE buffer design for when the printer switches colour, and in practice it worked perfectly fine with no issues. One thing I think I should mention about the i7 is its boot time. From switching the printer on to reaching the main dashboard takes about 52 seconds, so it's certainly not the quickest printer to get booted. Once it's powered on, it's the usual process of downloading firmware updates, connecting and binding the app, and running the calibration process that pretty much all modern machines go through. Once it was ready, I opened Creality Print. Now I must confess, this is my first time in the Creality ecosystem. I've never owned or used a Creality machine before, so I wasn't too sure what to expect from either the software or the actual print quality. On first opening Creality Print, it was a little bit of a WTF moment. Although it's based on Orca Slicer, unlike Bambo Studio or the standard version of Orca Slicer that I'm used to, everything is in a different place. You can see that Creality has made the software theirs to differentiate it from the others. However, it wasn't long before I got used to it, and having online models built directly into the software was a nice touch. If this is your first machine, you won't have any issues. My first test was a 4-colour Flexi Spider. The print quality actually surprised me. I don't think I was expecting an entry-level machine offering 4-colour printing for $100 to $300 to produce such a good result. It isn't fast, and as it's a single nozzle machine, which still needs to purge during every colour change, there's a fair amount of waste. But the final print was miles better than I expected. To test the robustness of the CFS Nano, I then took a large 4-colour print of more Gollum and scaled it up to 300%. This test took well over 2 days, with 1,149 filament changes. The CFS Nano completed all of those filament changes and the entire print without any feeding or retraction problems. The resulting print also came out very well. The Nano doesn't fundamentally change the way the SPARKX produces multicolour prints. What it changes is how the filament gets to the printer and the amount of space you need to do it. All things considered, this little printer actually performed better than I expected it to. My eldest daughter, who is 13 and has no previous experience with 3D printers, has now claimed it and is using it herself with no problems. So, my first experience of Creality has actually been positive. I've always been put off the brands in the past, particularly as a Bamboo Lab owner. Maybe I need to try a K2 Plus next. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.